Hi guys, my name is Janvi and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, after a really long time, I am creating a self-help video on the topic of how to become a smart girl. Now, as women of today's day and age, we have so many new opportunities, so many new avenues that we can explore. And for us to be able to do that, I believe and I strongly believe that we need to be smart girls. Now, when I say smart girls, I don't mean that we need to be the topper of the class or the most intellectual girl there is. I need us to be the women who are well-informed, have a healthy opinion on things and are able to voice it with confidence. I need us to be the women who can hold conversations, not just about kitchen or fashion or anything, but about politics and everything else that there is in the world to talk about. And also need you to be the girl, or want us to be the women who has the ability and knowledge to create wealth for herself and the family. Women are not supposed to be, no matter how much this concept is fed to us, I strongly disagree that women are only supposed to be in the kitchen or their only purpose in life is to serve men. So in order to become a smart girl, here's tip number 1. Read. Now I know the minute I've said reading, I've lost half of my viewership because somehow we've created this idea that reading is supposed to be boring, something that only the bookworms or the boring people do, but in fact it's quite the opposite. If you are somebody who hasn't become an avid reader or who genuinely enjoys reading, it's because you've not picked up the right book for you. The right book isn't something that everyone's talking about, or just because everyone said it's a classic book to read and how can you not read this doesn't mean that you have to pick it up, because that's where we go wrong. You need to explore and understand the kind of books that you like and then pick it up and get engrossed in it. Once you get into the habit of being able to hold your own attention for that much period of time, where you can continuously read a couple of pages, start small, start with small books, start with genres you know you like, and eventually you will get into the habit of reading. Reading genuinely gives the ability to hold a conversation, to have opinion on things, and mind you, it really opens your perspective on a lot of things. We feel we are modern and then we read these books and it's always an eye-opener. I only read self-help books, like that's my comfort zone, and lately I've started moving to history and politics, even though it's not something I enjoy, but I'm really pushing myself to get into the habit of reading that as well. And trust me, even when I read self-help books, any self-help book, after so many years of already reading so many of them, it is still an eye-opener for me. There are so many new things to learn. The world is growing and books, the beauty of books, it never dies. And if you want to be a smart person, I genuinely feel this is one habit that you need to get into. Number 2, lifelong learning. My grandfather was somebody who used to keep on learning new things. Even if it was out of his field, he would keep learning until he was, I think, 80 years old. And I used to wonder why. And I've realized this now, that at the pace at which the world is changing, none of your college degrees, even a master's degree, is going to be relevant after a while, because there is so much new that has come in. And I feel like today though, there are so many different courses that you can take up and they're so affordable, and you can do distant learning. So you don't have to sit in front of your books and sit in front of your laptop studying. You can literally study while working, while pursuing anything else in life. And don't do it just for the certifications, but do it because you have to learn. And trust me when I say this, a lot of people tell me things like, Ari, but what course to do? How is this course going to help me anywhere? No learning ever goes to waste. I have a very classic example of this, a little off topic. But when I was in school, I think over one of the summer breaks in 7th or 8th standard, my mom and I took up like a crash course on crochet. And when I was learning, I was really bad at it, but when I was practicing how to do crochet, I would always think, how is this ever going to help me? Like, what is this training for becoming a granny with who's knitting on an armchair when I get old? What is the point of this? Cut to the last, I think 2-3 years, we've seen that Pinterest is filled with girls crocheting, making aesthetic bags and clothes. Hell, I'm wearing this really expensive top, which is also a crochet item, which is selling on an online retail store. So crochet has so much scope. Had I paid more attention, I didn't have to buy this top anymore. I could have just made it for myself. In fact, my mom actually paid attention, and today she owns like a small business of crochet, and it gives her so much joy. So no learning ever goes to waste. Number 3, practice critical thinking. Now, a smart girl or a smart person in general is also a curious one, because curiosity is what gets you the right kind of answers. Some of us, or at least most of us in fact, we don't ask questions anymore as adults because we're too afraid that people are going to think of us as stupid, or they're going to get pissed if we ask too many silly questions. But have you ever seen kids? Kids have so many questions, and that's what gets them to learn so many things about themselves, about the world around them. And I don't understand, why have we stopped doing that? Critical thinking is something wherein you're curious to know and question everything around you. Try to apply logic and science to the things that you've been told. Try to have healthy debates and conversations and discussions with your close family and friends. Of course, don't get into toxic fights. Practicing critical thinking doesn't mean that you question and then you start arguing with the other person and try to convince them how you think. That's just being toxic. But when you engage in healthy debates and conversations, you get so much to learn, you understand so much, and at the same time, if you have logic A, somebody also has logic B, and while it may seem like a competition, both these logics are important to learn and grasp. And a critical thinker will always analyze and come out with the most sane logic there is, without any bias. Number 4, stay socially active. Now don't get me wrong, I don't want you to suddenly turn into this like crazy partyholic person where you're going out with your friends, spending all your money on this. No, that's not what I mean. What I do mean is that it's important that you network with different people who are either in your field or maybe not even in your field, but just some people who you can have interesting conversations with about anything and everything. They could be friends, or you could go to networking events like business events or influencer events where you get to interact with people who come from different places, different areas, different perspectives. Listen to their stories, listen to their opinions. Trust me, there is so much to learn. There's also so much to build your perspective on. You learn so much about so many different fields. And also, networking is important because smart people also make a lot of businesses just purely out of good networking. Knowing the right people in the right places always helps. It increases your chances of maybe getting an investor for yourself, or even as simple as getting a mentor in your field. So network with them even after the event is done. Make sure you have meaningful connections that you keep on following up on, and create a close proximity with these people so that you keep learning as you go. And also, like I said, networking in the right places is important. It's not about just talking to anyone and everyone or going out with people who add zero value to your life, but it's more about networking in the right places. Number 5, setting and tracking your goals. A lot of us are aware that you need to have certain goals in life, whether you set like a yearly goal or you want like a monthly goal, or most of us even have daily goals that you want to achieve. But the differentiating factor between us and the people who we categorize as the smart set of people track their goals precisely. Because when you track your goals, there are 2 scenarios that happen. It immediately becomes a source of motivation for you to keep on going and achieving all your other goals, no matter how hard it is. And B, let's say you didn't achieve a particular goal, you can sit and analyze, and you can figure out a way on how to make that goal come true. If you don't track your goals, you pretty much lose track, or you make up excuses for yourselves. When you put pen to paper, or you have maybe I have a Notion where I have 3 month goals. So from Jan, Feb, March is one, April, May, June was one. So 3 months I give myself different goals that I'm supposed to achieve. If I don't achieve a particular goal in that 3 months, it gets passed on to the next 3 months. The more backlog there is, it puts more healthy pressure on me to keep on going and achieve that particular goal. Plus, when you have like a list of goals that you're constantly tracking, the fact that something is not ticked out of your list immediately gives you the little bit of like nudge to keep on going. You're like, why didn't I achieve this? Like, I have to keep going. So as much as setting goals is essential and how you set goals, I think more than like annual goals, it's important that you break down your goals into smaller goals, whether it's daily, bi-weekly, monthly, and even 3-month goals like I do. It's important to do that. It kind of makes the bigger goal achievable when you have smaller goals, and it helps you keep track. Number 6, limit your distractions. Learn how to control your spending, learn how to control your urge to order from outside, learn to control your urges of using your phone too much, learn to control yourself from going partying and drinking alcohol or smoking every single day or every single weekend. I understand you've had a lot of work coming through the week, and going out for a breather, going out with a friend, is completely okay. You deserve it. But you and I both know there is a certain line that you must not cross, and that line could be anything. That line could be different for me, that line could be different for you. But it's important that you limit your distractions. As human beings, we are wired to get tempted to go towards these distractions. That's part of being human, and that's part of being normal. Okay, so nobody's a saint here. All of us go through that. The smart crowd, though, has figured out how to control themselves from getting tempted by these distractions. Most successful people were so boring, and they were so disciplined. They were waking up at 5 a.m., working their asses off. Why are they where they are? It's because of the fact that they knew how to control their mind. They knew the concept of self-control, something that we all fail really badly at. Tip number 7 is to meditate. This word is thrown around so much that I feel like it's lost its importance. Everybody is saying, oh, I meditate, I do this, I do that, or you should meditate. But nobody is getting into explaining to you why that is. Most of us think that meditation is boring, it's for the old people to do, or it's something that nobody can achieve, nobody can do it for themselves. It requires great deal of attention, focus, sadhana. And while that is true to some extent, meditation for layman like you and I is just to be able to sit quietly in one position, close your eyes, allow your thoughts to flow freely, not judge, not hold on to any thought, but just let it go, to focus on your breathing. Why this is important? Because all the things that I've talked about before this pointer, in order for us to control our urges, temptations, for us to keep on working, to practice critical thinking, to read, all of this is a very chaotic process. All of this requires a lot of hard work. And you look outside, we live in a very fast-paced world. We also, most of us live in metropolitan cities, which is filled with chaos, traffic, people fighting, people arguing. And with all of this going on, how do you expect your mind to stay sane? How do you expect your mind to be at peace? It can't do it. There is so much that's going on. And for your own sanity, and because you want to achieve big things in life, I'm sure that is the reason you're watching this video. If you want to achieve big things in life, trust me, 5 minutes of meditation throughout the day, I'm not saying will suddenly make you the richest person in the world, but what I'm trying to tell you is it will give you the ability and the peace you need to learn more, grow more, and practice more. Most of us feel tired because it's not because we've done a lot of physical work. It's because mentally we've been overwhelmed with social media content, with the noise of the traffic, with people fighting outside, with people fighting in our house. We are all very troubled right now with all of this chaos, and meditation is one thing that will bring you back to normal. It will also calm your nervous system. I know what you're thinking. This is a very long video. I have come to the last point. Don't you worry. So last point is that you need to take care of your physical health. I heard this in a podcast where he said that when your body is healthy, you have 10 problems. But when your body is sick, you only have one problem. Because health is wealth. If your body is fit and fine, you can achieve anything in life. But the minute your body is sick, there is nothing that you can do apart from resting it out. No decisions can you make. You can't go outside. Your work goes to shit. Your mental stability goes to shit. And so why get to the point where your body gives up like that? Learn to respect your body, because that's what's getting you everything that you need in life. My grandfather used to tell me, as long as your body is healthy, you can get all the money in the world, because you can work hard. But the minute you're sick, you can't do anything. So why let it go to that extent? Learn to eat healthy food, learn to cook healthy food, learn to exercise. Or if not exercise, if you don't like exercising, there are so many different variations of physical health that you can get into. Go for a nice walk outside in the green, in the sun. Realize the importance of taking care of your physical health. Think about the last time you were sick and how terrible you felt. And imagine if you felt like this all the time, how will you build the future of your dreams? Right? And that brings us to the end of this video. This was so much fun to film. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel for many more such videos, and I also do a lot of aesthetic cute little vlogs, so don't forget to check them out, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, bye.